Yeah. Something a little different this round, Cowboys Nation. Kept hearing about the dadgum in techno, and boy, folks was tired of that techno, man. We had to rewind it and do something a little bit different. With that being said, you're now tuned to the Stargate Live show with your guy Nick's, Mary L, the Stargate Beauty's in the building, Spoonie 81, that guy Matt O, aka the Professor. Day one of padded practice. How we feeling?
Yeah.
How we feeling, guys?
Woo, 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 woo.
She brought the phone finger out. She brought the
official.
The season is here. The season is here. Oh, Spoonie, how are you feeling? Checking in on all this news and stuff. I know we got a little bit of a scare today.
Yes. Listen, I'm excited. First padded practice. Yeah, we had some news, but it still felt good to see these guys out there getting some work in.
Yeah, no doubt. Professor O, I know you were cranked up while we were talking back and forth all day. I know you're hyped for tonight.
Yes, I was so excited. So I went from, skyrocketing up to straight down to back up. So I'm good. We're all good. We'll talk about
it. Right. And let's just get it out of the way. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. We had a little scare with Dak early on today, ladies and gentlemen. We had a little bit of a scare, a little Dak scare. He was in warm-ups. He was kind of throwing the ball around a little bit. He was moving around, right? He was moving around even, get a good look at him moving around here early on. And all of a sudden, man, he turned into, he was over there with the trainer and he wasn't, all of a sudden he wasn't throwing no more. We're not got all the way to the team portion of the practice. And you slowly started seeing, Cowboys Nation melt down like, oh my God, what's going on? What's happening? And come to find out, so far, much ado about nothing, right, Mary? Because it turned out he had a
latissimus strain.
Strain, okay.
Yeah, so it's just some soreness in his shoulder. I think it means like back here when he was throwing. And apparently, from what I read about it, it's a few weeks. And just do some stretches, some monitoring of the exercises, and it's no long-term issues, which is in line with what the Cowboys have said. So, good news.
Gotcha, Matt. If you want to run, I got it up to go and hit that play button. If you're going to hit that play, we got a little, like I said, obviously Dak moving well, seeing him get through the drills early on here, getting the ball out of his hand and whatnot. So, great news. If anything, that obviously it wasn't nothing to do with the leg or the ankle or any kind of setback of that ilk. Just boils down to the end of the day that he had an issue. Said he felt a little bit of tightness, didn't want to push it. What's that term again for us, Doc, over there? Doc Mary?
A latissimus strain.
A latissimus strain. So official report from him came out and said, hey, they're going to treat it day to day, take it easy, move from there. So obviously they gave a lot more reps to some of these other quarterbacks that we're going to talk about, because once again, that defense was on fire for the second day in a row. Obviously, Dak not throwing the ball. They ended up, Matt O, how many picks they have today?
5. We had a pick party.
Woo! What's to do for 5 of them bad boys today? Defense was flying around, making plays. Spoonie, how the secondary making interceptions? How is
I mean, listen, I know it wasn't Dak throwing the football, but what I'm excited about is that if you're supposed to get an interception, you get one. I like Ismail Mumakamu. I know it was a bad throw, but I like the reaction. He went up and get it. Michael Parsons. I'm rooting for the rookies anytime there's a ball in the area and how they play that ball. And listen, regardless who is throwing that football, you get that pick off. And that's what it's about. You're supposed to do the thing, and they did it today. So I'm still good with it.
Yeah, man, details of Cowboys Nation, still shocked from injuries to our quarterback. Yeah, like I said, as we covered, Lisa wasn't nothing major. We're going to kind of keep an eye on that. Parsons got in the pick party. Kennedy 2 days in a row getting to the pick party. Now, the funny quote was, there's a particular safety back there, man, they got a couple of picks. A particular safety the Cowboys Nation isn't too high on. your boy, you gotta maybe get some film of him getting a couple of picks?
I do. Let me get him pulled up 1 second.
Cue up. I got Thompson from the depths. From the depths of hell.
We'll start with this one.
Go ahead and play. It's up. Yeah, you're ready.
So obviously this is not in team. The next one's in team, but this is Darian Thompson, the much maligned safety of the Cowboys, special teams guy that we don't want to see on the field other than that. And here he is in Rico Dowdle one-on-one coverage.
And Rico's been having a strong camp so far. Good play.
Nice job of undercutting this route.
Yeah, boom.
And then the other one is right here. So this one's in team. It's a deflection. It's kind of hard to see, but we'll go ahead and load that one up too. Right place, right time. But he made the play, right?
Right, he caught it. I mean that's what it boils down to. He definitely caught it. So, again, hands getting on balls. They're not just batting them; they're securing them. So obviously exciting stuff. The defense, once again, as it says, the defense stays on fire. I actually pull up the Parsons. Parsons with a good interception in the middle of the field today too. If you actually have that, we can get to the people to the Parsons pick real quick. You go ahead. I got you queued up there, Matt. Parsons in the middle, and then boom, dives in front.
He also fakes the rush. If you notice in the beginning, he fakes the rush and then drops into coverage.
Show it one more time. Run it for one more time. Comes up, 3 steps in, kicks back to the middle. A little handsy with the wide receiver. He bumped him a little bit, but either way, good play from him. Now Ben DiNucci, I think, had the bevy of the interceptions today. I think he threw 3 of them of the 5, if I'm not mistaken.
There.
Yeah, the Cowboys. Now we got to start talking. And now Double G, obviously, Gilbert had a nice touch, had a nice pass to CD that set the world on fire with the one hand. And look, are we really surprised by it? It's just CD doing CD things right at this point in time. But it does have to give you pause a little bit on the backup quarterback situation. Dak threw 3 yesterday. I think he went 9 for 19. Things will happen. Now we had the backups come through play today. They gave up 5. Hey, tip of the cap to the defense of what they're doing. Mary, on a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you about the backup quarterback position?
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, but like some months ago, I brought it up on Twitter. I made a post about it, and like all of Cowboys Nation was like arguing me down that we did not need a backup QB. And I'm
free safety Izzy, the rookie Izzy Donald was the 5th.
And I'm like, I don't know why you guys just want to hand over a starting job to one guy or a backup job to one guy that played 1 game, and that's enough for you to back up our QB. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, it doesn't hurt to bring in a guy for good competition or good film room work or whatever the case may be to force and push the other guys. This is. Up until last year, we all thought, oh, Andy Dalton's not going to play. He's not going to play. But now we know that, Dak isn't invincible as much as we thought. And, it's important, just like it was important with Romo, and they very rarely addressed it with him either. So it's been my concern for a very long time. I didn't need to see any more of DiNucci to know that.
Yeah, right. Matt O, do you have? Are you ready to bring another one in here? You ready to get another quarterback in here? Okay, you got anybody on your list?
There's not a ton out there. Like a name, it's not an exciting name, of course, but a name who's available now is Blake Bortles. The Packers released him so that Aaron Rodgers' roster spot was available. And then another guy, like a lot of fans throw out RG3, but it looks like he's taken, the plunge from the NFL game into the analyst job. So that's not likely right now. There's not a lot out there, but I definitely agree with Mary. If we can address the quarterback position, we absolutely should. On the flip side, what's good about this is, granted, our defense is probably not going to play a single quarterback that's been DiNucci's caliber in the regular season, but at the same time, there's something to be said about getting these plays in practice and live motion with your teammates, because you start to believe in yourself. All of us know the phrase of the rebound, right? After you're in a relationship, it goes sour. You're a little bit down on yourself. It wasn't what you were wanting out of it. And then you get the rebound. You start feeling like, okay, I can do this. It's not too bad. So you get to training camp, you got the pads on, and then suddenly a ball lands in your hands, or you go get the ball. Either way, and that kind of is a catalyst for a lot of things, because we're seeing guys like Kennedy, for instance, that a lot of fans just kind of threw to the wayside. We assumed he's not going to make the team. Now suddenly cornerback 5 and 6 that may be above him on the depth charts are like, I need to get the ball in my hands. I haven't made a play yet. If I don't make a play and Kennedy keeps doing this, which he did 2 days in a row,
right,
he's going to start getting momentum his side, and then suddenly I might be cornerback 5 or 6, and now my roster spot's in jeopardy. And when they say like training camp battles, these dudes are quite literally, a lot of them, fighting for their livelihoods, because if they don't make the team here, the NFL is a tight-knit community, and these coaches move around. If you don't have a sponsor on the staff now and that coach moves to another team, if they think about bringing you in, the first person they're going to ask is that coach, like, tell me about so-and-so. And they're going to be like, they were terrible. They didn't do anything. Yeah. Right. So like, you want to start seeing your, when your teammates make a play, you're kind of excited, but you're kind of competitive because you want to make that play. So all of a sudden you start seeing one guy get an interception, and now somebody else gets an interception, then somebody else gets an interception. They just kind of feed off of it. So it's exciting, but again, it's scary when you see Ben DiNucci throwing. Like, we have the Mukuamu clip, as a matter of fact. Do you mind showing it really quick? Just so fans can see. It's good for Mukuamu to get this play, but look at how bad this throw is. It's not.
And of course, and to set it up, it was a 3rd and 15. You had to make something happen. It was, at the end of the game. But yeah, it's still, even with that being said, it's not very good. It's queued up whenever you're ready. Izzy looks, he's 7 feet tall out there. Look at him. Hop puts the ball. Boom.
Like, there's no receiver within 7 yards of this ball.
No, at all. At all. Look at that.
And I honestly don't know who he threw it to. I have no idea.
Right. No. But you're right. We're talking about Maurice Kennedy, and he was the cornerback that we signed last year. He opted out because of COVID. He's back this year. You have Jordan Lewis, who's not been able to play yet. He's working his way back into it. And Kennedy's taking a full advantage of the situation, opportunity, availability is your best, ability. And when an opportunity knocks at your door, here it is. And Kennedy is playing very well. And now, Jordan Lewis has to start thinking about that, as you said, Professor O. Hey, I got to get back and start making these plays and do things. And back to the confidence standpoint that you were mentioning, even in the press conference from Mike McCarthy, he's like, hey, look, I'd rather have a little bit more confidence and overconfidence than lack thereof. So these guys right now on defense, they've set a couple of good days together. The offense really kind of got after them, and they're feeling themselves right now. I do want to kind of circle back to the quarterback position real quick with you, Spoon. Look, we went through it last year, right, Spoon? We saw what happened once Dak went down, and here's Andy Dalton, and all these people say, well, Andy Dalton's never had these weapons, and blah, 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 and we saw what it was. Yes, we saw Gilbert play one game last year. We got the Blake Bortles of the world out there that you can bring in here. Sure, he has more experience. Does he really make it that much of a difference? See, to me, I just don't know bringing another guy here is really going to help us if that goes down, whether it's Gilbert or Bortles, right? I don't know. I mean, at least with Gilbert, I kind of think of, well, we saw him against the Steelers, play pretty well. I mean, we kind of know who Bortles is at this point, unless you're going to make a trade for somebody else's roster.
Oh, yeah,
okay. Oh, who you got?
Excuse me, the phone's ringing. Hello? How you doing, Mr. Ryan Pace? This is me, Spoonie. Yes, listen, Mary went to the bathroom. I got to make this ASAP before she kills me. I want to make a trade right now. Yes, give me Nick Foles. You have no cornerback depth on your roster. You got a Desmond Trufant there. Yeah. You got Artie Burn. Yeah, he wasn't that good in Miami, and I'm a Hurricane fan. We got an Anthony Brown. Give us Nick Foles for Anthony Brown. We throw you a little maybe a 5th-round draft pick. That's what we need. That's what we need. You need an experienced quarterback. Get me Nick Foles. Or if not, there's a guy in free agency who's familiar with the team, who knows the system, who knows Mike McCarthy, who's solid, and that is Gary Huntley. Bring somebody in to challenge Gigi for the spot. Right. That's what we need. You can't have no experiment behind Dak. And today, even with the shoulder situation, even though it's not bad, he'll play during the season. He should be fine. But again, if it's during the season and something like that happened, he needs to miss a game. Can we really go with Gigi and Ben DiNucci as the 2 quarterbacks? I can't. Right. For Nick Foles, or maybe even Gardner Minshew. That's the other quarterback you could trade for in Jacksonville. Oh, again, Garrett Huntley, who is a free agent.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I just look at whether we're talking about any of these guys, and look, and to be honest, Gilbert hasn't played horrible during this training camp so far.
Yeah,
A lot of this, I don't want to get screwed up. Is some of the Cooper Rush throws, some of the a lot of the Ben DiNucci throws. So we're kind of there. Obviously, it is something after you 2 back-to-back practices, 3 interceptions one day, 5 the next day. You do want to look at it. You want to kind of see, hey, is there something out there? No different than, hey, they kind of looked at the safeties early on and said, you know what? We got to get a Malik Hooker in here. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Let's add another piece back there. So, and depending on how long they want to nurse Dak's shoulder, you got to get their arm in here to throw as well. So Blake Bortles could be the guy. I see a lot of people talking about that as well. Could be Blake Bortles. And I agree here with Kush. I don't think it's going to be a huge long-term thing with Dak. I think they're just super careful right now. And Dak felt it. They looked at it. They'll ice it, they'll heat it. They'll do what they got to do and get him back there. My guy just says, I need that Minshew Dallas jersey, by the way. Yeah, I mean, hey, man. I mean, he's young. He's a guy that can come in here and win you some games in the clutch. Of course, we said the same thing about Andy Dalton last year. He couldn't be the savior. We knew that. He maybe could hold the ship together for a couple of games. And, of course, Dak was gone for a long time. Yeah, Church, actually, we talked about candidate, not that just a few minutes ago in the camp he's having so far. Also, as we're talking about when we get to as we're talking about this defense staying on fire, D-line showing up again. Gallimore doing some things as well. He had a pretty good after camp or after practice today. He spoke with the media briefly. Let's get that up real quick.
Training camp starts.
Yeah, go right ahead. You can run it whenever you're ready, Matt.
I felt good. I mean, this is where the real training camp starts. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with no shirts, it's good, more technique. But this is where we get that good work in. That good on good, that the blood pumping. You know what I mean? Get a chance to really lay the smack down on somebody. You know what I mean? But again, it's only day one. We got to get right. We got to get better. We got to keep taking steps. But now I felt good to get after it today. You feel me?
Yeah, and I mean, right, and the things you want to hear. The defense has been rocking 2 days in a row, and this guy's like, hey, yeah, it was good to get in here and mix it up, but we got to take another step, though, still. Super excited. We talked about this last night. We kind of already said, I think you're going to pencil Gallimore as your 3 tech. Going to be interesting who's going to be starting on the other side of him. Osa's played well. We've seen some rotation there, right? Watkins, we talked about last night being in there. Urban got some more burns today as well. We saw some clips from Urban. So exciting to see, this defensive tackle, because if they're great, boy, these ends and these linebackers can do so much more. Yeah. Now, Mary, do you have a particular favorite you'd like to see up there with Gallimore thus far through camp so far? Still young, still early, but anybody you're liking so far?
Yeah, I'm liking Mohama so far.
Yeah.
And he's huge. He's
big. Big old dancing bear.
Yeah. I mean, I like him over so far. The little I've seen of Urban, I like as well.
Right.
I think it's gonna take a lot to take a spot from him starting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Yeah, definitely excited to see the rotation. Matt Owen, do you think we need to add another defensive tackle?
I don't know that we need to add one yet.
From Church here.
I don't know that we need to add one yet, but I would definitely consider it. Just kind of looking at the rotation right now. So Carlos Watkins, as of today, and again, things are going to change as camp progresses, but Carlos Watkins is your starting 1 tech right now. A lot of people thought it was going to be Brent Urban, and it may still be that, but Watkins is playing a lot. They like his length, and they like his ability to bat balls down and also clog up the run lanes. So maybe he's better than we're giving him credit for. He's coming from a 3-4 scheme, so maybe blending into this hybrid, multiple front defense may be a better fit for him. He was really good in Clemson, but he was pretty poor in Houston. So we don't really know what we have there. Obviously, Brent Urban was the one that graded out so well with PFF. He's been a top run defender and actually was a top 20 overall. He was the 3rd highest ranked run defender last year. So I like his length. I like what he can do. Seems like a good guy. I'd like to see more of him. And, hopefully in the next week or 2, we'll get to see that. But right now, Carlos Watkins seems to have the early edge, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But Neville Gallimore, I'm super stoked for. He looks every bit as much as what we were hoping he was going to be. And keep in mind, this dude ran a 4.79. He's a fast, big guy.
Yeah.
And then, as Mary
Yeah, and-
mentioned, obviously we have Big Bohanna. We haven't really gotten to see a ton of him, but as camp progresses too, he's a guy that, you know, may not jump out immediately, but they're saying he looks a lot quicker than what you'd expect for a guy who's 330 plus pounds. So I feel like we have a pretty solid rotation, but it's not a position yet that I feel comfortable being like, we're good week one, but it's promising we're going the right direction at least.
And
Right.
to off Matt said, he ran a 4.79, which is like the same as what Dak ran in the combine.
Right.
I mean, obviously,
yeah, that's crazy.
game speed, you know, Dak is probably faster. You know, he's probably a little more agile, but like that's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, and even just to speak to how athletic he is, prior to his draft last year, you know, I'd shared a clip in the Stargate group where, I mean, he basically just drop step and just straight verted dunked. I mean, a guy that big, be able to do those kinds of things, you know, just built differently. The way that the way that they do things. Also had a question real quick from Looking Crazy, Spoonie. I mean, pretty much right. I'll see what you think here. Gilbert gets the number 2 quarterback job. I mean, right now. Right.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's the best guy to get the job, but I still want him to bring somebody in to compete with him to make sure that he is the right guy. Again, he played. It was a good game last year with Pittsburgh, but he didn't make a lot of games. For me to feel great with him being a backup, I'd rather go with a veteran guy. But if he beats out a veteran guy who has experience playing this game, then I would feel comfortable him being a backup.
Yeah, no, big facts. I know someone else had to now we'll to the offense because it wasn't all about the defense being on fire. You know, Connor McGovern had a monstrous day up front. Maybe definitely up there as one of the best offensive linemen to play today. Definitely some of the coaches talked about that as well. Funny that, you know, Mike McCarthy actually spoke about him, you know, in his opening press conference before they got into the practice today, and then he turned out and had a great practice, which is interesting, right? Because you got Connor Williams kind of doing this. He's going to be the backup center, maybe, and they're giving McGovern like a ton of snaps right now, you know, at guard, which is a natural position. But with Connor sliding in, it's getting him more reps. McCarthy's pretty high on him. Now, not to talk about trades, right? But would you entertain the idea if because since Mary wasn't here, and I do see our guy asked a question about the Xavier Howard trade, so we'll broach it real quick. Would you move Connor the last year of his deal in a pick for Xavier Howard, since you have McGovern that can play the guard position already? And Mary says, me, Matt, and Spoonie definitely talked about the Xavier trade a little bit last night. You know, the mice will play when the cat's away. By all means, we'll let you broach the Xavier Howard trade. We have different variances on the scale of 1 to 10 where we think this is going to go. But what do you think about the Xavier Howard noise or trade, or should the Cowboys even do it?
I mean, you said trade him and give up who? Who were you saying give up?
How about Connor Williams in a second round pick, or Connor Williams in the first one?
I mean, I know most fans aren't a huge fan of Connor, but I don't think we have the luxury of getting rid of him.
I don't either.
I think you need him, no matter regardless of what you think. I mean, he's gotten better. We can't risk that. We got a $160 million QB out there, and if another lineman goes down, we lose another one. You know, it's going to be a hard time out there. As far as a pick goes,
would you send it straight first for it, Mary?
what is this? Is that me? Oh. I don't think so, because he wants more money.
It's true. It's very true.
And I think that we went heavy with cornerbacks. We got a lot that we're hoping can take the next step. So you're basically admitting already that one of those guys isn't what you wanted already. And so I don't think the Cowboys do it. I mean, it's already a no because they got to give up a high pick.
Boom. And money.
If I would be mad at it, no, depending on what it was.
Gotcha. All right, and just kind of cover that because we had somebody here that wanted to cover that. But back to the offensive side of the ball. McGovern had a great day. And also, man, I think this is going to be a reoccurring thing here, Professor O. Man, Zeke just continues to have a strong camp, man. Just continues to have a strong camp. Had a great one-on-one. And we seen him catch the ball even better, if you will. Had a great one-on-one with Keanu O'Neal today. Over the shoulder. If you got that queued up, just let me know whenever you're ready, bro. And,
yeah, just give me 1 second. I'll pull that up.
You're fine. And we saw the jump cut yesterday. It's like, oh, I remember that, Zeke, with that jump cut and what we saw. Spoonie, how's that making you feel when it comes to seeing Zeke and the work he's putting in right now?
Well, but what I feel is that I want the fans who basically
go ahead, Professor. You can launch it.
I let everybody see it first.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great job of tracking the ball over your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good placement, too. By the way, Gigi threw that one. So Gigi threw the one to Lamb, and Gilbert threw that one here as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
FYI.
Good placement on the ball, yeah.
Yeah. Go right ahead, Spoon.
Oh, listen. A lot of fans have always felt when we talk about Zeke Elliott as a top running back, he cannot pass, he cannot catch, only out the backfield. Again, a player cannot control what type of offense is being run and was being called for him. In Ohio State, Zeke showed he's capable of catching the ball like a better running back today. He lost some weight. He's back to his rookie shape in about 218, 215, because he's going to expect a lot of passes thrown his way under Mike McCarthy, not like under Garrett, who just wants to run the ball, So I'm very encouraged to see this because they're also going to tell fans that he can catch. The man can go out there and catch. It just plays wasn't called for him to go do that. And what we saw right now is if a play is being called for him to do it, he can do it. So I love it.
Yeah, big facts. And then too, because we talked about this before, Matt, and from you and with the PFF pedigree and whatnot, not all runs are equal. We know some of these coaches like to use those short passes as runs. Do you see that as we're watching camp kind of unfold here? What are your thought process? Are you seeing them maybe try to implement some more of that with TP and Zeke to, it might not look like 30 carries on the board, which was the number that Mike McCarthy talks about, in his conference today. But if it's, 20 and then we got 7 to 10 of those kind of short, quick passes and different things like that, are you envisioning that kind of thing? Or what do you think so far as you're seeing camp unfold?
Yeah, absolutely. And the main reason I say that is I think we're going to see that league-wide. I don't think it's going to be just the Dallas Cowboys because you have to consider the 17th game being added in. If you keep your running back's workload the exact same and you give them, 18 to 22 carries a game roughly and add a 17th game of wear and tear, they're going to break down. So what you want to do is start throwing the ball a little bit more to them, whether it's in the flats or screen games or things like that, where they're a little bit more one-on-one in the open field. They don't have to necessarily take on linebackers in the hole and, meet those guys. They may have a safety or a cornerback that they're matched up in if you can throw the ball and spread them around. And a lot of coaches like to use it as coach speak, but it's basically like an extended handoff and a relatively easy throw. We got to see Zeke yesterday. We put a clip of that up, and he looked really, really quick in that. One thing that's kind of interesting so far, and again, it's just training camp, so I don't know if they're tipping their hat too much or not, but we're seeing a lot of Zeke running wheel routes and things like that, not necessarily just throws in the flat. So I think we're going to try to take advantage of what he's able to do and what Pollard's capable of doing in the receiving game too. But yeah, just in terms of sheer wear and tear, I have to imagine league-wide we're going to see a reduction in the average amount of carries running backs have, especially mid to late in the season, and we'll probably start seeing a little bit more passes thrown their way just to try to still get them the ball and implement them in the offense without necessarily overusing them.
Right. Hey, man, if you're just tuning in, man, you're rocking with the Star Game podcast crew. Make sure you go sub to us on YouTube as well. Star Game podcast, that's all you got to do. And we're just covering and going back over the first padded practice of this 21 camp and talking everything Cowboys as always. We kind of saw early, right, in the first couple of days of practice, even into the clip about Dak as he was working out an individual just before he had to leave with the tour with the pulled. What is it, Mary? The pulled. What's it called?
Was it Latissimus?
Latissimus, there we go. Right, is that he was still working on rolling out. So we're seeing a lot of play action, a lot of bootlegs, a lot of movement, a lot of getting off the spot. As you're talking about, wheel routes, some quick strings in between, just getting a lot more, ball out of the hand possibly quicker in certain situations and whatnot. And going back to it, Tim and Spoonie, something we talked about before, teams that run this play action a lot more. The top 5 tier teams typically run it more than everybody else, right? It looks like the Cowboys analytically. We heard a lot about this from Mike McCarthy last year, and spoke a little bit about that again when we talk about his press conference today. Definitely wants to get to some of that balance and some of that play action a lot. Spoon, you think they're going to follow through though?
I believe so. Again, this is Mike McCarthy's second season, full season with the Cowboys. And I know last year there was a lot they could really implement, but you could see some of the plays they was trying to do. And I think you're going to see a whole lot of it. I think he's going to really air it out this year, especially with the play action. The play action sets up for a lot of things to happen. And you have the players that can execute it very well. So I see it coming 24.
Yeah, and again, you're getting with it, installing what he wants to do. Early on, I mean, we're a couple of days away for our first game, right? And we'll get some more practices in between now and then. But very excited to see with this offense and how it grows with the healthy deck. Now, last year, obviously, to a certain extent, we couldn't see what McCarthy wanted to do because the early games, albeit turnovers or whatever, we got behind early and things happened. Then, of course, Dak went down, so you couldn't do the same things with him, maybe that you could do, or with Dalton that you could do with Dak. So this offense definitely is going to look interesting to see what this offense is going to look like this year, especially, we're seeing turnovers here on defense. We think that's the number one thing that we got to look at, turnover differential and points per game. And, man, we talk about 5 interceptions today, 3 yesterday, just slowly building up that swagger and those things. Now, a couple of things we should touch on. Lewis, obviously, so to get to camp with the injury, we're seeing a nagging, nothing major. We're seeing Candidate walk through that door, right, play well, back-to-back days interceptions with Jordan Lewis being out. Nashawn Wright started hot, re-aggravated the ankle. We got to wait and see how long that's going to happen. But the guy that, had most polarizing, right? Boss Man Fat, a.k.a. Kelvin Joseph, who hasn't had that big pop moment, but it's just been consistent, guys. Mm-hmm. It just seems to get a little bit better every day. And we've seen him, whether it's Al Harris working with him or we've seen Dan Quinn working with him. We know he's getting coached and teached up pretty well. For y'all, and we saw some Anthony Brown. For y'all, who are you looking through this camp to walk through that door at number 2? Do you think it's Nashawn? Do you think it's going to be Brown? Do you think it's going to be Jordan Lewis, Candidate, or is it going to be Kelvin Joseph? Mary, who are you looking to really lock down that outside number 2 cornerback?
Honestly, there's not one that's ahead in my mind. I'm just hoping that somebody does it.
Okay, fair. It's fair. It's early.
Please,
it's early.
Just opportunity is knocking. Answer, please.
Somebody's got to walk through the door, Professor O. Still early. We got our first padded practice. What do you think? Who do you think's the leader in the clubhouse at number 2 cornerback?
Yeah, I still think it's Anthony Brown for right now. I do think that the Cowboys would love to see one of their 2, top 100 draft picks step up and seize that, but it's early. Wright obviously is dealing with the injury, and hopefully he'll get back soon and be ready to go. And then Bossman's been steady, but not incredible, not bad. He's just been, kind of coasting right now. So hopefully we'll get to see him get more and more comfortable and, progress into that CB2 role. Right. Honestly, right now, I think if you had to rank it based on what we've seen so far in Unlimited, it has to be Anthony Brown, and Kennedy's making a strong push the last 2 days. Right. I don't know how far he's going to, propel himself, but if he keeps doing this for the next couple of weeks and we see it in preseason games, he's making a run for it. And it's interesting too that when Lewis went out, the first option was Kennedy at slot. There was no other. There hasn't. We've seen Jaron Curse and guys like that, move into it for big nickel situations, but Kennedy was the first choice that they had, right, which is interesting. So
very interesting.
It's especially interesting too. Sorry, and I'll let you go. But a lot of fans were kind of assuming, if Wright does lock in cornerback 2, then Bossman's going to be the slot. But that was not their first go-to. They seem to want him to be an outside corner, and maybe he will be. But that just planting that seed there. Yeah,
I mean, definitely that's the things we got to look for the detail. Now, Spoony, our guy, Double R, Reggie Robinson got a lot of birds today. And held his own, right? Probably maybe the most spurts. I mean, obviously we start seeing guys, getting nicked up and getting hauled out. You get an opportunity. Robinson played some today and played and held his own and played pretty well too. I'm still rooting for the kid. Do you think Robinson's got a chance to make some noise still?
He has a chance, but I don't think he's the guy.
Okay.
I really don't think he's the guy. I'm picking.
Who's your guy, Spoon?
Maurice Candidate.
You think so? Okay.
Virginia. Listen, again, we spoke about this last night. In one season, he was on the Ravens and the Jets. Key interceptions for both teams. He opted out last year, so we didn't get to see him play. But they did sign him before the season was over with. We all know they like to go for guys that they were pretty high on in the draft and stuff like that. And so when he opted out last year, we didn't get to see him play. Now he's having a strong camp. He's making plays. Anthony Brown, in my opinion, and again, he's fast. I like him better in the slot, better than the outside, in my opinion. I think Maurice Candidate is a better outside corner than Anthony Brown. So I'm choosing him. With Reggie Robinson, listen, he has to make every opportunity count. He didn't have much last season, but he definitely listen. You step right in there and you keep making plays. Obviously, you're gonna catch the coach's eye, but I like Maurice right now.
See, here's my thing, guys. All right, because now I'm gonna get back over to Xavier Howard a little bit. Now I want to get all your thoughts out there real quick and see where you're at. Right? All right, Mary. We haven't seen You just not enough there for you, right? All right, Professor O, you're with Mr. Anthony. We spent the draft cap on everything. Mr. Brown, Spooty over here. I want Maurice Candidate, and he's grabbing it, and you like him.
That's right. Now,
all that screams to me. You should go make a move to go get Xavier Howard. Sounds like that's what you need to go do then.
Yeah, we've talked about how unknown. There's so much unknown with the speed position. And we've been doing this. This is our third year. Every year we talk about in camp, oh, they're looking good. They're getting interceptions. Oh, this guy looks good. And then like clockwork, they get burnt and nothing happens.
Right.
So like I said, I 100% agree with your reasoning. I could 1,000% see why they would do it, and I would be down for it. It's just not going to happen.
Mary, just hypothetically, just talking out loud, we know how Stephen Jones is. But if it was up to you, LVE in a second-round pick, and then you pull the trigger on the Cooper restructure, you can afford him, and I don't think you're giving up too much comp-wise. Would you make that trade?
Bye.
Right. Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think? LVE in a second. Trading LVE frees up about $5 million. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, say hi to Byron for me. Tell him I miss him.
Word. That part.
I wouldn't want to trade LVE. I really wouldn't want to trade LVE, in my opinion. I think
than Connor Williams to me. I'd much rather go to LVE than Connor Williams.
I agree 100% with Mary. Just because of where we're at with the guards, I would feel more comfortable trading LVE, knowing we have a relative logjam at linebacker and we're not sure how that's going to play out. I think if anybody's expendable, it's him. And I think he's the most attractive trade piece because he's a guy that you can say, look what he did in 2018. He had injuries. If we get him healthy, we got a steal out of this and a high pick.
Right.
I feel like he'd be the most attractive trade piece.
Yeah. And here's my thing. And look, I'm taking Stephen Jones out of this for a second. And the one thing that I've talked about here, we're going on to our third season now, Mary Spoon, is that I want to see him go all in at a certain point. Is what I want to see. This is one thing I always talk about when it comes to Stephen, within reason. And I wasn't on that, let's send 2 first-round picks and all this stuff for Jamal Adams. I wasn't on that train. But within reason, you go give up first for Amari. Okay, let's make that happen. Within reason, okay, we give up a second at LVE and we can go get Xavier Howard. Let's go make that happen. See, to me, those are the things that's saying, hey, we're going to fix this. We're pushing our chips to the middle. I'm not here for the cap, because my jersey doesn't say cap on it. Okay, and we look at teams that are successful, whether it was the Saints, the elongated run that they had. We look at Kansas City and what they do and how they manipulate the cap and things that can be done. Hell, go look at the Rams. They don't give a shit about first-round draft picks, but they go get all these players, though. I'm just to the point now where I'm like, look, our offense is ready right now. It is a Super Bowl caliber offense. We are really relying on a couple of guys we put up free agency, Dan Quinn, and the 8 guys we drafted defensively this year have to come through and get this defense just right. To me, look, if I can move an LV that we're not going to re-sign next year, especially if he gets hurt, which, hey, guys, I mean, even though he's going back to Will, probably a good opportunity that he's going to get hurt again. And we can move up a second-round pick to get Xavier Howard, hit that fail switch, and get the extension done and walk away, then so be it. Again, we talk about the drought, we talk about this, but we have to be willing to do things to make this team competitive enough on the defensive side of the ball to get us over the hump. And to me, this will finally Jerry said it, right? You don't know what I would do to get another Super Bowl. Well, to me, this will be one of those things you could go do to show that you really mean it.
BJ, I got to say this. I will give up a first-round pick.
I'll give up a first round straight up, sure, if we're going to sign long term.
I mean, listen, Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, what you're getting is a top 10 corner to pay off with Diggs. And that's going to make even Diggs better because we all know Howard will take that number one guy. It's going to make even 3 times better. Now you're going to have nothing but experience. The one thing, what was that story you told us, BJ, BJ story time about the middle of the field? Okay, well, you address the line. You have the linebackers, right? You have the safety depth. You might as well just finish the whole pie, go all in, get that corner to pay off with the future corner. Now you're stacked. You are stacked all over the field in each level. And we talk about from the line, you got your D-Law, your linebacking corps, you got a Jalen Smith, you got an LVE, you got a Parsons there, you got your depth. You go to the secondary, you got your Diggs, Xavier Howard maybe. Mm-hmm. You got the Donovan Wilsons, you got your Kazis, you have your Malik Cookers. My God, you are stacked. Go all in. If you this far, don't stay at 9. Go all the way to 10. Right. Make the move. And you know what? Xavier Howard explained himself about the contract situation. It's more about guaranteed money, not about money per year. Now he grew up a Cowboys fan. He's liking everybody. Picture of him.
Well, they always use us though, now Spoon.
I mean,
yeah. They always use us.
Hey, use us. Let's embrace him.
Right, let's embrace it though. Right, let the front office actually embrace it.
I'm down with making the trade, but you don't just walk in and give it all up in the beginning, Spoonie. You don't just walk in and say, "Here's the whole roster and all our picks." So we can
right.
No, I'm not saying that.
You act like you're not pressed, and you're like, "Hey, LV."
Because here's my point.
And see him react. And
I mean, here's my point. You have whatever you're gonna get for Howard as a corner, we give right back. We have depth at corner, young pieces. We look at that at the Miami Dolphins depth chart. Byron Jones is getting pay up there, but after that, even with the safety position, I mean, they drafted Holland from Oregon. That's Matt's boy, P.O.'s boy, right there.
It was.
Yeah. My thing is they need another corner in return. We have Anthony Brown here. We give it Jordan Lewis. We have guys.
Well, here's what I want to ask Cowboys fans too. Cowboys fans say we should not make the move because we spent a second and third round pick on corners and we spent a second last year. Yeah. Think about it this way. The Dolphins last offseason had Xavier Howard. They signed Byron Jones to a big deal, and they used one of the 3 first-round picks to draft the cornerback. They said, we don't care how many resources we have to spend. Let's just get it right. Right. We don't ever do that. We don't ever do it. And I'm like, okay, look at it this way. You have a quarterback like Dak. We all agree he's Super Bowl ready. We have an offensive line that we're like, Tyron's been banged up. We're hoping that the surgery fixes his issues. Collins is coming off of an injury. You don't know how long your shelf life is in the NFL. If it's just the cost of a player that you're probably not re-signing anyways and a second-round pick, make the move. And if you have to worry about what happens long-term with Bossman and Wright, then so be it. You figure it out as things go. Go all in, like Nick says, put your chips in and make the team as ready for the Super Bowl as you can possibly be. I just don't understand. And at the same token, when I said you trade LVE and a second-round pick for Howard and then you pulled the trigger on Cooper, why would you not pull the trigger on Cooper anyways, knowing that most of our fans assume Gallup's going to be gone next offseason anyways? Like, what are we waiting for?
Right. And again, that's just my thing. It's like, I mean, this offense is Super Bowl ready. There's no from the running backs to the line being to Dak being here. Yeah, the offense is The offense is Super Bowl ready. We need the defense to get there. And again, if you think about it like this, you got to have a lot of cornerbacks anyways. It's great that we drafted two. Remember, a couple years ago, we drafted one in the second and third round. The one in the second round's already gone. It's a rotation. Yeah. Look, Jordan Lewis and Anthony Brown won't be around here forever. Okay, well, you got these guys to step in and do what they got to do. To me, it's just one of those things. These kind of players don't become available all the time. And if they are available, it definitely fits exactly what we need as we're talking about. Was it this guy or that guy? We're waiting to kind of see, well, Nation Rodson, reiterated this. Jordan Lewis ain't got on the field yet. Say less. Just make the move. Just go ahead and do it. Stop playing around, just like you did with Hooker. Look, all right, we've seen enough. Let's get Hooker in here as well, too. I get it now. That's the Stephen Jones, level of wanting to, get a guy in here. But we have seen him go get Amari Cooper. As somebody said earlier, and I forgot who said it, is we might see him do it a little bit later on. Let it play out a little bit.
Right.
I mean, that's fine, but if you wait longer, there might be somebody else already going there and scoop him up, and then you're left holding the bag. Again, I just want to see this team go like, hey, the time is now. We just paid our quarterback. Let's go. Let's do it now. And that's all I'm looking for them to go do. Now, we know, Mary. We know Steven, and we're not. But I need old Jerry. I need old Jerry one time. Just turn the tables on Steven and say, look, we're just going to go do it.
How exciting. We're at Hard Knocks, right? How exciting would it be if Jerry pulled the trigger right now in the middle of Hard Knocks and that became an entire episode? Like, I'm cool. I will tune in for that. Let's watch that.
Yeah. As my guy Eric Kush said, sounds like another Jamal setup. Yeah, because he's positioned talking Cowboys. Right. Of course, they always do that. But the Cowboys could go make this happen if they wanted to. But, we'll have to wait and see. I think at the end of the day, yesterday, Professor O, you were at 1. I was at 3. Spoonie, where you at, Spoon? 9?
9.
On the scale of 1 to 10. Mary, scale of 1 to 10, where you at?
As far as it happening, it's going to happen?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if she said 2.
She said that.
Steven loves his draft picks and he loves his money more. So
it's true. He's got he's like Scrooge McDuck. He's got that big old pot of gold.
I was 1 now in a 3 during the season, and I think 3 has to be extreme where we get torched early on for there to be any chance. So like maybe if we get through, Tampa and then play the Chargers week 3 and get torched, maybe. But honestly, if I had to tell you, I don't think he'll be on the Dolphins roster week 1. I think somebody will trade for him.
I think
he's too good. He's too good. Someone's going to be smart and be like, hey, Dallas is just chilling. We have a chance to get an all-pro caliber cornerback. Let's do it. Someone's going to make the move.
And the word is
us, but somebody will.
Right. And the word is 2 playoff teams have already reached out to him.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll watch Kansas City. We'll watch Kansas City go do it. We'll watch Kansas City go do it.
We'll watch the Saints do it. Saints were $100 million over the cap. They already have Marshawn Lattimore, and they're going to be like, hey, we know this is just monopoly money. We'll just rearrange things as we need and pair up Xavier Howard with them and have locked-in cornerbacks.
I mean,
it's
our division rival, too, because they were a playoff team, and they have a defensive-minded head coach.
Right.
Now, would you be pissed if that happened?
Yeah.
What if it's the Eagles? What if it's the Eagles and they were like, hey, we have Darius Slay. We just signed Steven Nelson. We have Anthony Harris. We haven't really invested a ton in the other positions aside from Slay. We have 2 to 3 first-round picks next year. We'll toss you one of those.
Yeah.
Let's lock down our secondary. We're playing in the NFC East with a lot of teams that have good receivers. Let's just lock this room down.
Let's get that airplane mode going. No reception. That old Kelvin Joseph was talking about. I'm ready to get the airplane mode going, damn it. That's where I'm at. But with that being said, I just want to kind of bring that up because we kind of went around it, talked about it. No one's really reached out there and snatched it up. And you have this guy available, and just one of the things we always talk about when it becomes frustrating, whether it's free agency or there's somebody available, they just never seem to do enough to get the job done to get that kind of player. Go ahead, Spoon.
The Cardinals. That's my team I'm scared of because
could be Chandler. Chandler for
straight up. Yeah, that would be a fair thing right there. So that's what I'm scared of. Just the Cardinals, and of course the Chiefs.
I mean, you always got to watch them too. No. Oh yeah, as my guy. Yeah, if we get him, we start printing them shirts. That swamped earth defense with that scorched earth offense. We can get it cracking and get that thing rolling. As my guy Outlaw Cowboy said, big facts over there on Twitterverse watching. The cap is a myth, and it is to a certain extent, man. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up Gallup in a second because we're gonna keep this thing together for this run right now and see what can happen. But neither here nor there. With that being said, though, guys, I'm gonna pivot back over here back to this practice today. Number one thing for me coming out of this practice, no injuries. Outside of Dak, a little twinge, but nothing serious. That was the thing I was most scary as we were getting off of last time. I was like, man, first padded practice. I'm always, very nervous about injuries in the first padded practice. We didn't have any of those things happen, which is awesome. We did see, and actually, let's cue that up, man. We do have our backup Gilbert with this amazing throw. Well, maybe not amazing throw, but amazing catch from one CeeDee Lamb. If you haven't had a chance to see it yet, let me get it. Let me get it on the screen. You go ahead and play whenever you're ready there, Matt. Just, man, look at this. They really let this guy go to 17, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. They really let this guy fall to 17. Let us draft him, y'all.
Rodney Hopkins, like.
And look, and everyone's just so casual, like, yeah, CeeDee Lamb doing CeeDee Lamb things, y'all.
Right. Yeah, they're all just used to it. Granted, he didn't get his feet in bounds, but I mean, that's a hell of a
He got a knee. I still think he got a knee in. I still think he got a knee in.
Let's see if we can see it.
Let's try it again. I think he got a knee in. Come on. Let's see if he got that knee in.
See if we can do the camera work.
That elbow. I think that elbow came down first, though.
Yeah.
So close. I think that elbow came down first.
Connor Williams right here playing center, and he does a good job of giving, Gilbert a little pocket, getting Gallimore out of the play. So not bad.
Yeah, big facts. Also, do we have real quick? Do we have the Randy Gregory getting demolished by the one arm of Tyron Smith?
I don't. It's on a different angle. Actually, I do.
Yeah,
give me 1 second. I got it.
Yeah, because, man, if y'all didn't see this, Randy Gregory came screaming off the edge. And Tyron Smith, man, that's cute, young buck, with that quick run here. It just one-armed him and he was out of there. No doubt. As my guy Outlaw says, boom. Big-time D-Hop vibes.
PD catch. I posted the still shot of him, like, jumping out. And somebody retweeted it talking about, Cowboys corners are just trash. I mean, obviously it's pretty hard for any corner to defend jumping into the sky like that because he's already done it in NFL games. So it was a bad comment. Like, he's already done this before against NFL competition in an NFL game. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not like we didn't see him do it against everybody last year as well, too. I'm with you there. It's like, okay, yeah, they're bad. We get it. Fair enough. I do want to grab this up top. Our guy came in and said he had a nice little question. It might be too far back. I'm going to get anyway. He goes, our defense destroying the offense this early. Is that he said? I meant to say good. He said Hood. The worst defense in the league, dominating the offense. It happens in camp, man. It's ebb and flows. It's ebb and flows in camp, and things like that happen from time to time. As Mary, you said it quite eloquently earlier, right? Is what we see this all year, every training camp, all these interceptions, all these, and then what?
And then nothing during the season. So. I mean, it's good news because ultimately you hope at some point it builds confidence for the defense. We know our offense has proven during a season that they can score, that they can get 1,000 yards, for the running back, 1,000 yards for the wide receivers, that our QB can get over 4,000 yards. They've proven that. We've seen them prove themselves. What we haven't seen is the defense prove themselves. So whatever happens in camp, if it makes them more confident going into a game against an opposing offense, then that's what's most important.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, Dan Quinn, right? We're hoping he's the difference maker. As we've said it, son. He was the number one free agent that we got in here, and we've seen him go to work and do things and really be hands-on and teaching at every level, using the mitts, being in the mix. And that's what we're looking for. What we're counting on is him getting these guys coached up. Obviously, they gave him the job. You got that queued up there, Matt?
I do. You ready?
Okay. Oh yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me get this full screen right here on the edge, guys. Just watch Randy Gregory go flying. Go right ahead. And goodbye. One. God. Tyron Smith is a grown man. Oh, one more time. Jesus.
Oh, man.
Oh, Randy, I'm sorry.
And
Oh,
Riri, he put on weight from, he's not at his top.
He's not small. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's definitely not the size that he once that he was. He's definitely bulked up, man. Man, boy, he just did a lot. There you go, as Eric said. So we're hoping Dan Quinn carries over. Now, the one thing we can't say is we did get a lot of turnovers towards the end of the season last year. Some of those guys are still on this team, but the addition of the other guys, maybe that can continuously, move forward and go up. Like I said, for me, plus 8 to 10, I think if we get that plus 8-10 range, I think we're very hard to beat. But let's wait and see and translate. You know what though? There's a guy that had 10 interceptions last year. What was his name? Matt? What was his name? I forgot his name.
I believe it's Sir Xavier Howard from
Sir Xavier
the House
Howard
of Miami.
Yeah.
Hey, let's just be clear too. Not just 10 interceptions. He had 20 pass deflections, a 51% completion percentage allowed, and a 61 quarterback rating. So it wasn't like he was just a one-trick pony getting torched for touchdowns or giving interceptions. He was good across the board. Really good across the board, actually.
Oh, man, what it would be.
I'm just saying, LVE, I appreciate what you've done here, sir, but your services are no longer needed. You can take your talents to South Beach. Let's get Xavier Howard out of it.
Right, and as Mary said,
the best.
Say hello. Go ahead and say hello to Byron Jones down there for us. Wish them all well. They did good, right? 10-6 last year.
Places like Miami is a nice city. I just visited recently. It's a fun nightlife, so enjoy.
Right.
And it's just like Texas, no state tax. You'll be totally fine there. Don't worry about it. Have a good time. Get the coastal life. Enjoy your time out on the beach.
Right. Man, I mean, and as a guy Kush said, man, Diggs should have 10 by himself last year. And look, and he took responsibility. He said, man, I got my hands on 14, and I think all 14 should be interceptions. It's a great mindset for him to have. And he had two last practice, and we kind of watch and see how that goes through. But with that being said, we're in the stretch though. Tomorrow night we got another practice. Try to run it back for you guys once again. Spoony, do you have anything for the people for a Spoon's minute?
Yeah,
do you have some? I just kind of thought you might. A minute, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm waiting for the clock. No clocks.
Oh, clocks. Yeah. Mary, you pull the clock up for Spoon. Mary usually keeps the clock for Spoon.
All right. Let's see.
Get Spoony his minute here. He was so nice getting off yesterday. I was like, well, let's run him back a minute. He was so nice yesterday getting off.
He was.
Oh, real quick is my guy Ryan. Jumped in. Oh, restarted for him. What was the Dak Scare? He had the pulled muscle in the shoulder. A little day to day. They got to do some things, but nothing major. Had a little pain. Oh yeah. What's it again, Mary? Tell them for the people in the back.
Miss strain.
There it is. Boom.
Google Doctor says about 2 weeks of just rest and doing some stretching, and he should be fine.
Spoon?
Yes, sir.
Go right ahead, sir.
All right. Stephen Jones. I haven't been so nice to you for a minute. I haven't been very nice to you. But see, I would love you if you go out there and make this move. We are watching the Cowboys make some great plays in training camp. We got Dak back. We got it all. But there's a missing piece. The missing piece is that corner, a Pro Bowl corner, who is an all-pro, 20 interceptions. We need that, Stephen Jones. Listen, make the move, damn it. Be better than your father. You haven't done that yet. Your father gave us 3. You haven't gave us 1. We want to get close to 1, Stephen Jones. Just do us the favor. Do it for us. If you just this one time, if we get Howard in here, we are Super Bowl bound. Try to be better than your father. Try to catch up to him. He would have been did this. Hey, He said he would do it. Do it.
Okay. Sorry, Spoon. I think it was. Look at that. For the first time ever, round of applause for Spoony. He literally kept it to a minute for the first time ever. And Jerry said, he mentioned Charles Haley and Deion Sanders. We need one of those kind of guys. And a Howard, is he Deion? No, but boy, he's really good. Professional's got one more clip for us before we get out of here. Let's go and cue that up real quick. me get that up there. By all means, sir.
Are you ready?
Whenever you're
Okay.
ready.
So, just to be completely fair, we showed Parsons get his interception. We showed him actually with the A-gap blitz yesterday. We got to show you some of the good things. Keep in mind, guys, he's a rookie. He's gonna make some plays where you're like, "Come on, man." He's young. He's gonna learn. Watch him. Watch him in coverage on this play. He bites super, super hard, but you want stuff like this to happen in training camp. So if you see clips like this circulating on the internet, don't panic. It's perfectly normal. It's just a rookie learning curve. I just want you to see it though, because had they made the throw originally, he would have jumped it and it probably would have been a pick. But
Skirt.
Yeah.
Oh, got him.
Again, rookie, it's not a big deal. So if you see stuff like that, because we know how our rivals are, they're going to see things like that and circulate it around the internet. Not a big deal. He's a rookie. He's in coverage. Things like that going to happen.
Paula got one on him. That's all right.
He did. It happens. I mean, Zeke got one on Neal. So, yes, I guess today you could say running backs versus linebackers. Running backs at the edge. Maybe linebackers catch up tomorrow.
There you go. Very, very true. With that being said, man, we always appreciate y'all for rocking with us. All of our Twitter handles are at the bottom of our page, of our things. Star Gang Beauty, Professor O, Spoonie881, your guy, Nix. The biggest thing right now, man, we're finally over 400 subs on YouTube. Star Gang Podcast is the channel on YouTube, man. We're trying to get that 1,000 subs before the season starts. Get over there, sub, tell a friend, share the YouTube link out with whoever you know. We appreciate y'all rocking with us as always. Tomorrow night, another camp practice, and we'll be back breaking it down tomorrow night. Maybe a little bit later. We'll see what's going on. Spoonie's already he's moved off. He's good at safety now. Now he's got this cornerback thing rolling. Do you really want another 25 on this team? As long as it took you to get the other 25 off, you're okay with this 25 though?
He needs another number. He needs another number.
Okay, needs another number.
I'm just saying, we need a cornerback with a single-digit number. I don't know what number, but we need him. He needs a single-digit number.
A number, maybe a cornerback with a number 1 or maybe a number 2.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah. We'll talk about that later. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. We'll catch y'all tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody.